You are welcome to another edition of Fakon Empire Talk Show. Here today we have a very great personality. This person you would like to see, and a person you might not expect to see, but talking about Nollywood, Holywood, Bollywood, and the British film industry, who has been everywhere. Hello, hello.
Hi, it's a great pleasure to be here today.
How are you doing, sir?
Doing
Nice to
very
meet
well.
you.
Very pleased to be here on Fakon Empire. Thank you for having me as your guest.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Nice to have you here. Please, can you introduce yourself to my viewers?
Hi, good afternoon. It's a great pleasure to be here today. My name is Lucien Morgan, and it's wonderful to be on Fakon Empire TV.
Wow, fantastic. I say again, you are welcome.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure. I'm glad.
How are you today?
Yes, not too bad, not too bad. Please, I would like you to let me understand how you feel and coming across your connection with the Nollywood and Nollywood Nigeria and Nollywood UK, because I know you've worked with Nollywood Nigeria and Nollywood UK and some great actors here in the UK and Nigeria.
Yes, there really are some fantastic actors and actresses in the Nollywood film industry, equal or if not better than anywhere in the world. I don't feel a lot of them have got the recognition that they deserve, but I've enjoyed it very much over the past 10 or 12 years working with Nollywood films, and I hope I do a few more if I'm wanted.
Right. Please, can you still remember or tell us some of these great actors you work with in Nigeria?
Well, Yemi Black, of course, is fantastic. He's like, I would call him the African Orson Welles.
Did you hear that?
He's the African Orson Welles.
Wow.
And he was so good to work with. We had great fun. We worked day and night, worked at 2 in the morning one day, and we improvised some of the scenes together. And then we had a really crazy idea of one day wanting to do a stage play in Lagos together.
Wow.
And we were hoping that somebody could write one for us, but we wanted to do a stage play in Lagos together. And I hope that happens.
Where?
And I worked with him a couple of times, once in London, and I first met him at a place called Ibadan, and that's about an hour or so north of Lagos, isn't it?
Yeah, Ibadan.
Ibadan.
Yes, I got what you're saying now. Where exactly, where the location take place in Nigeria?
The locations were outside of Lagos in a few big mansion houses there, and in the countryside out of Ibadan, and in a hotel in
right.
Ibadan.
Wow.
Yes.
So you've been to Ibadan, and even the way you say it better than myself, who was born and bred in the country.
Yes. Last year I had a wonderful time. I was in the other end of Nigeria. I was in Rivers State, filming near Port Harcourt. And,
Port Harcourt.
Yeah, and I was in an epic film with a huge cast.
You probably know Nigeria more than myself.
Yeah, well, it was great. Flew from Lagos to Port Harcourt.
Were the people
and then
nice
went
to you?
up north. Yeah, very nice. Exceptionally nice. Lovely people, lovely food. It was great filming out there. And a very organized unit that had to be there. It was a period epic set in the 1890s, and I was playing a very evil man, the English Consul General of that time, Ralph Moore. The film was called The Eagle King, and I think it's going to be released out on Netflix. It's near post-production now.
I can't wait to see that.
Oh, an incredible film with a real. I won't say too much about it or give the game away, but wonderful cast, and a goddess comes out of the river, and there's a very special twist to this tale. But it was fantastic getting in the.
That's what you get in Nigeria.
Yeah,
that's what you get
did
in Africa, you know.
I did a lot of research on the character, researched some of the costume, found a swagger stick with a silver top. I went to the house that he owned in London, in Barnes,
Right.
and just spent an hour looking up at his window. I didn't sneak in his grounds because that would be trespassing, but I researched his life when he came back and found out a lot more about him before I did the filming, and worked really getting into the character. There's a process of finding the character, making it truthful and believable. So that was a great experience. I'm looking forward to the next film when I go out there.
That sounds very interesting. Thank you for that. And we'll come back here to UK.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lovely film I did with Florence, Queen of Nollywood.
Oh, Queen of Red Carpet.
Yes,
Nollywood.
Queen of the Red Carpet. Wonderful Florence.
She's a wonderful Florence,
who's
amazing
a very
Florence.
talented producer. And we did This Is Not About You, where I played an English lord, Lord Melchett, and I won't tell you what happens to him at the end. You watch the film. It's about the art world and some strange goings on. I won't spoil it and give the ending away, but you watch the film This Is Not About You by Florence, Queen of the Red Carpet.
Wow, that's nice. I like the way you really talk about Nollywood. So that sounds like we're doing well.
Well, Nollywood is doing well. You have the distribution. You're doing well with the resources that you've got. But unfortunately, I don't think the government has got enough respect for what they know.
Yes, I was going to come to that.
Absolutely. And Nollywood has incredibly fantastic talent.
Okay.
It's got brilliant producers, brilliant actors, brilliant directors, but they will not stand a chance on the international market unless the Nigerian government takes the business seriously. And they must invest 100 million in the industry. Build some studios, give money to young up-and-coming directors, as they do here, as they do in Germany, as they do in France, and certainly as they do in America. Or Nollywood will not stand a chance of competing at the Academy Awards in Los Angeles. And believe me, African directors deserve it. Africa deserves the chance.
Thank
So
you.
enough of
That
me
is-
ranting. Let's get back on.
that is wonderful, you know. Yeah.
Enough of me ranting
Yeah, no,
on.
I can see that you've contributed a lot to Africa, not just Nigeria, but to Africa in general.
Well, I can see
know?
what can happen there. I did one Bollywood film, maybe 20 years ago. That was great and a lot of fun with some dancing, that type of thing. And I've been involved with a lot of standard Hollywood productions. And in the 70s and 80s, I was in those American miniseries like Nightingale Saga, working with fantastic Anthony Richmond
Right.
and well-known stars. I won't names drop some of them, but a lot of names, a lot of very famous stars from the 30s and 40s. I was in Murder is Easy with Olivia de Havilland, who of course won the Oscar for 1930
This is-
for Gone with the Wind. So a lot of the
You're
people.
telling me what I don't know. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, it goes back a long
Yeah,
time.
this is
and
interesting. And which other area, places like states and villages you visit in Nigeria? Because you never mentioned my own town.
I don't think I've been to your hometown, Benin. Was
I'm from Benin City,
You're from Benin
the
City.
ancient
Well,
city.
Benin City, I have never been there, but I would love to go. I'd love to go because Benin, of course, we know, but it was a wonderful, big, powerful empire, a wonderful culture.
Oh, you hear that?
Yeah, in the 17th, 18th century, the area of Benin, the Benin civilization was one of the greatest in the world. Wow. And it had huge palaces, wonderful art forms, wonderful culture, and that's not known. How powerful Africa was at that time, a lot of African people don't know.
This makes me want to be Benin forever, man.
Oh, well.
I will remain Benin forever.
You've got something to be proud of, yeah. No, I've never been there filming, but I'd like to go. There's so much culture. We were chatting before going on air about some wonderful gentlemen I met in Lagos, and they're concerned about the loss of the Victorian architecture, how a lot of old Lagos, it's been demolished.
Victoria
2/3 of
architect.
those beautiful buildings that were there have been demolished. And they have a society, it's based at the Art Museum, and there are some politicians involved and some interested businessmen. Lovely fellow he was actually an army general, Major General was involved. Met him at the golf club just out of Lagos, and he introduced me to certain people that were involved there. They want to preserve the architecture, and it's a terrible shame that those beautiful buildings have been demolished in the past 40 years. There's only a third left, so I would ask that a lot of Nigerian people support this and preserve the architecture that's left.
Okay. That is a very important area you just, open up to. I would like to know or to tell the viewers or people out there listening, because you don't know, anybody could have the interest at the same time powerful enough to bring back this or to retain this architecture,
Well, just stop
people
demolishing
with
it.
People with a voice.
Yeah, preserve it. Preserve it. Curiously, there's one building that is preserved, a British prison that's now a wonderful theatre in Lagos. Yeah, it was a British-built prison that's now a fantastic theatre. It's put to much better use.
It could
I
be
think.
demolished anytime soon. Please don't.
I'd love to do a stage play there.
Oh.
I'd love to go out there and do a stage play. I'd love to go out and do some Shakespeare plays in Lagos with some fantastic African actors.
No, that's
It would be great. We'd have so much fun.
That is very, very nice.
So if any businessmen are listening to the show and would like to be a part of this and help finance or sponsor a company, it would be great. I'd love to go out to Lagos, teach a lot of young actors English Shakespearean acting. I did a load of plays years ago in Shakespeare, played a lot of Shakespearean parts, and I'd like to go to Africa and do some stage plays, and maybe even we could film it afterwards and then make money back on the film after the stage plays run for 3 weeks in Lagos. I have a few ideas, and maybe even before that, at one of the universities or colleges, run a training program for young actors and actresses that want to learn Shakespeare. And then we work doing voice exercises,
we can
working
do that.
with a text, iambic pentameter, that type of thing, and then do scenes, and it builds towards a production that we could do in a theatre, and then go out in the countryside into some big villa and film it and make a load of money for the investor. So that's an idea. If you're out there, you're a businessman, and you'd like some involvement, then please contact us here.
Please contact us. Contact Fakon Empire Entertainment.
Find an investor who wishes to help young Nigerian actors and actresses, or maybe just young people that want to develop and grow by learning Shakespearean techniques of acting. You find an investor who wants to give maybe 20, 30, 40,000, and then you set up
pounds,
dollars.
All right.
Yeah, you could do it on $40,000. You have part of a university, book rooms there. Then you have a training program, and I'm looking at this so the young people don't have to pay to do their training, because they may come from a poor background and not be able to afford $1,000 to go training in Shakespeare.
You're right.
But if there's one businessman that could afford to support this by investing, I use the word giving, but no, there's a way to structure the deal where he or she makes money out of it. But he has to be a seed investor or anchor investor to spend at least $40,000 to book a theatre, book a training place at one of the colleges or universities, and then we have auditions, have about 50 people, young people that want to work doing courses in how to act in Shakespeare, to develop stage fencing, stage combat, voice, Elizabethan use of language, the iambic pentameter of Shakespearean poetry, be bored to death with me doing about 5 lectures on Shakespearean history. Then we do scenes from different Shakespeare plays.
Right.
Then work on one production. So everyone's got a chance to do the scene. Then we do one production where tickets are sold in Lagos, and that has a cast of about 25, plus a few people being like spear carriers doing small parts. So the production makes money.
Right, yes, sure.
Then we make the big money by getting a villa, and this all comes out of the costs that's reinvested. We turn it round. We get a villa out of the country, and then we film it. Use the same cast that's rehearsed, and we do an African Shakespeare film. Now, the fact that it's Shakespeare, that will sell it. The fact it's African will sell it. The fact that it's a black film will sell it internationally. And this film may stand a chance to win awards at the Academy in Los Angeles, and certainly it will stand a very good chance of being screened at Cannes. So for that investor that gives $40,000 to start it, it could trigger off to a few $100,000 or maybe a couple of million, best option. And that's a realistic option,
Yeah.
so
Thank
it could
you.
go off
Thank you,
if it's
sir.
well done.
Yes, thank you, sir. Yeah, I really pick interest in what you're saying, and it sounds very good and supportive. But I will also want you to use this opportunity to encourage some people who might have the money, some businessmen out there, even distributor, and wealthy people as far to the government to really look into this and begins to support the film industry.
Yes, I really
Because
think it
when
should.
you look at it, even the movie, the music industry, they're just doing well on their own.
Yeah.
They strive from here and there, and they pick up. So also
Well,
as Nollywood.
Nollywood does do well. Nollywood does phenomenally well. It's a huge part of the international market. But Nollywood does not get the credit it deserves because it can't have a few films pick up international awards. Look, explain this to me. How do you have such a big industry like Nollywood that does not have an African stand in the pavilion section at Cannes Film Festival?
Third in the world.
Yeah. Why? Why is Nollywood?
Third biggest industry
third biggest
in the world.
industry in the world, and it doesn't even have a pavilion at the Cannes. I'll be in Cannes in May. I'll be looking around. I'll be having a couple of drinks at the British Pavilion and the Italian Pavilion and going to parties on somebody's yacht out there and seeing what's going on. But why is there no Nollywood Pavilion at Cannes? Terrible.
I'm glad to hear this. Yes, Mr. Morgan, again, what advice do you have for people watching this show, Fakon Empire Talk Show?
Well, keep watching the show. I think you've got some interesting guests coming on the show, and keep watching the show. That's what I'd say. Anyway,
I am glad
enough me complaining.
Enough gist. This is not complaining. Enough discussion.
Yeah, well, enough of me complaining. I can rant on for hours.
No,
sorry
this
if
is
I've been
not.
too boring, everybody.
No, we really appreciate. I believe my viewers out there, you enjoy and appreciate a gentleman, a man that wants a difference to Nigeria.